Everybody will be starting shortly and get everything set up before we begin. Okay, post it there, post it there. This is all saved. Showing up on there. Connection seems all right. Everything seems to be okay, so I think we're good to go. So, hello everyone. Welcome to another stream of Apollo Justice Trilogy. Last time we had left off, we had started the Mason Systems investigation into the past and then the present, mostly the past. We went back to when Phoenix lost his badge and we did some investigation. We found that Trilogy helped her father escape by pretending that his Mr. Hat, her Mr. Hat, was the escapee. We then learned that there's some stuff going on, and the guy that was killed in the first case was actually Trucy's father, who I didn't realize until it was like right in my face. I was like, wait a minute. Like I realized it moments before it showed it, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then it was like, there you go, answered. And then the last thing we did was that we had spoken to Christoph Gavin. And he's like, I don't have any reasons. I don't need to tell you. And then he had like black Cyclops. So yeah, we got to try and break him. We are currently in the present, the past of the present, rather than the past of the past. We're in the present's past. You got me? We're going to see how much we can get done today. Hey, Rafatron, glad you're here. Apparently, I might be able to make it to the final trial or the start of the final trial. Okay, well, we'll find out. But I think that's everything. So without more waffling, let us begin and see what we can get done. You see everything's showing up. Yep, sound is good. Need to refresh the screen. Alright. Showing up on there. We're good to go. Mystery across time. Hopefully I'm better than I was last time I tried to do this, because, yeah. Right, if I remember correctly, we had just done this one, and we were going to go somewhere else. Because we had done the thing with this. So I don't know if I can do this one yet. I'll check it. It's been a while. If we've done these two, we don't have anything new there. I pressed the wrong thing. I pressed the start play button. I pressed the wrong thing. Right. The nail polish is colorless. Found in Christoph Gavin's cell. We found out that she had it. So this is poison. And we got that. No writing on the back. Can I open it? This is Trucy's mother, Thalassa. She's pretty. I could picture her on stage with Zach. It's Still, she looks like a down-to-earth type, too. I guess Trucy takes after her. Can I peel off the painting and there's secretly a hidden compartment that has a cure or something? Oh! I didn't realize there's going to be a picture. Can't look around the back of that. Zach's signature. I'm sure he's written him many times, being an ex-star and all. But there's plenty of people out there who'd kill for a Zach Gramley autograph. I don't think you have anything new, but we shall see. We can break you. I will break you. You're not as bad as the Blacklocks, so you only got 4. I'm flying on by the seat of my pants on this one. There must be a path leading from the evidence to the truth. And that's what I'm going to find. To ask someone to take a life, even one not long for this world, that's asking someone to commit murder. Yes, our mentor was fond of dramatic moves and dramatic finales. He got his wish. His life was taken. What weakness would be so powerful as to coerce someone who committed murder? My guess is that it was a matter of life or death. Care to explain? Your troupe lived in a world of showmanship. The flashier the better. And flashy so often means danger, doesn't it? Let us make this as painless as possible. If you have proof of this danger, then show it. Is it the gun? It says fires 1 real bullet. This is danger. Take that! Why, that's one of ours! Especially designed for a show, I gather. A single bullet, 1 shot. What are you suggesting? For I am Valet Gramby, and I have not getting his name, his freaking accent or whatever I was doing right. We are magicians, Mr. Wright, not murderers. I'm not crying murder, Mr. Valent. I'm crying something far more tragic. An accident. Zach and Valent's quick draw shoot 'em. How long has it been since those shots were last heard? Was the shoot 'em cancelled because someone might get hurt? Of course! What other reason could there be? Well, it could have been cancelled because someone had already been hurt. Fascinating! By Faustin! Is it Faustin or Faustian? I'll say Faustian. Faustian forging friend! But tell me, what can you prove with a single pistol? Well, tell me what would have happened if there had been an accident. What if one of your bullets took a life on stage? The performance of magic is not concerned with what-ifs. It is concerned with precision. Precisely whom do you claim we shot? Looks like I've chosen the right path. Let's just hope he walks it with me. A life was sacrificed so that the show might go on. And this shows who it was. Well, it can't be him because he was alive still. I get the feeling that it's more than likely the third part of the person because no one said anything about it, so I'm assuming something happened to her on stage. Take that! Word, if I may. Yes? Does it excite you to know you stand at a critical moment in your quest? Yeah, it does, sort of. Then you'd never make it on stage. You're not fit to be a magician. Give it up. I hadn't actually been considering that as a career option. I'm sure you'll find something else to while away the time. Like figuring out who that bullet hit. Alright, I guess I have to show the locket then, not that. Take that! But that's Zach Gramley's wife and Trucy's mother. Alassa, I believe was her name. Alakazar! But how can you say this? How can you say she was struck by one of our bullets? Still in denial mode, eh? Alassa was at the greatest risk of being shot, and this clearly shows just how much danger she was in. Wait, did I never look at this? Open. Here. Everything has been set up, and also I can present forged evidence in court. It's not that then. I don't think I have. Although this might work. Yeah, I'll show this again. Mr. Wright, I envy you. It appears your chosen profession is far more lenient than mine. What do you mean? For us magicians, a single misstep can be fatal. A single mistake can be fatal for an attorney too. Ah, so it can! Well, that's just the key. I can see how her name affects it. But just the name isn't enough. I need to recreate that day in his mind. Starting with where she stood. Where she stood. Yeah, I don't have any information about that. So I've not got enough information for this just yet. I may not have enough evidence right now to pull this off. Maybe it's time to do a little more legwork by going into the future to get some information for the past. Okay, so yes, we do need to go back to Zach then. I'm on the right track though. Gramry secret. I have to know more about this power of Trucy's. It's like she can see right into people's minds. The first time I saw her do it, it blew mine. And after you were done having your mind blown, you took her to play cards with you. Gotta use the resources at hand, as I always say. Yet I see myself no such power. Well, I myself have no such power. But Trucy does. Why is that? Maybe Trucy got her power from her mother? The Lasser Gramry? I will not speak of that. The Lasser is officially missing, correct? And I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. So it's going to be the gun or it's going to be the picture. I'm going to go with... Take that! The three of you were a team once. Not that the entire country doesn't already know this. At your peak, you were the biggest stars around. Yet, there's another story behind the fame. One that not many know. Oh, okay. The Lasser lost her life during a rehearsal. To you and Mr. and Valence Grammary's bullets. It was an accident. It wasn't me. How could I shoot my dear Thalassa? I'm sure Valent would say the same thing. Why, it's just like any other murderer, or just like another murder I might mention. Damn you! Her eyes. I love Thalassa's eyes. To think they could read my mind was frightening. Yet there was a warmth in them that felt like an embrace. She is dead, and Magnific Gramry has joined her. So the only one with the power left now is Trucy. Mr. Zack, I do not know. I don't need any power to see through that one, buddy. So there's someone else. Someone other than Trucy. Someone who inherited Thalassa's power. How would I know? The chances are slim. It would take a miracle to learn the truth. Or maybe one has already occurred. There is someone else with the power, and I know who. I called it. I called it. They have the same mother. They're related. So, as we all know, it's the bald guy, Spark Russell. He's the one with the other side, because, you know, he has brown hair. He fits the demographic. He's 36. Nah. Quite obvious.
Take that!
This boy, his name is, I forget, something weird. Who could he be? An attorney. Attorney? I noticed him when I went to a visit with a friend's law school offices, and he said law school. So, what are we to make of this, oh great ex-attorney? You can show me pictures of strange boys, or you might want to change your phrasing there. But you could at least say something like, I'm this boy. I could use a laugh. Perhaps you wouldn't laugh if you knew the facts. This might not be 100% proof, but it's close. There's a link between this boy and Thalassa. Actually, it's more of a ring. A ring? Perhaps this will refresh your memory. I just so happen to have evidence showing this missing link. I don't have anything like that, though. I don't think it would be that, because he doesn't have anything like that. Yeah, I don't think I have enough information for this. Yet. But I'm on the right track. I mean, I have evidence right now to pull this off. Maybe it's time to do a little more legwork. I think I actually have to try and do Gavin's stuff then. Which is odd, because his is black, and you'd think his would be the most hardest to do. But... although I don't have the option to present Magatama. Huh. What do you think about this, Gavin? I hardly need to remind you that I'm not a free man. I care little about the outside world, save advances in shared technology. Information forthcoming there, I guess. Yeah. Well, there's nowhere else to go. I can't do him, and I can't do the other guy. Because these are all done. Look at the little baby. Look at the other little baby. Let me look through this stuff again. I was thinking, like, in the future, he's, like, Phoenix Wright is still carrying around this stuff with him. Planets used this to manipulate the time of death, washed it and left the scene. Which is why it shows no sign of use. Yeah, they both say the same things. There's nothing really different there. I even look at this before? If you look closely, you can see how the pistol's made to bend here. It's a one-shot only model, but I guess this bend is where you load it. So this is the famous Cranberry Golden Gun. The state kids used to love pretending they had one of these. I wonder if they pretended to miss their targets too. Oh, I didn't want to double click. Oh. Ariadone? I've heard of that brand. And this must be the brand symbol. It's supposed to be some kind of flower? It's like a bird. Wait, no, maybe it's a hand. Wait, on second thought. Is that an eagle? Who makes these things up anyway? You'd think they'd try for a clearer symbol at least. Let's go back to Valor and see if he's got anything new to say. Because maybe I just have to present something to him. He's like, oh, wait a minute, where'd you find this? Look at this. I accept your challenge. Blah, blah, blah. Look at this photo, which is from the future. Huh, I just had a thought. Is the stamp supposed to be where they're supposed to stand as well? No, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try that. Yeah. There we go. Troop Gremley's performance were very, very popular. So popular, they even made a commemorative stamp at the height of your fame. We were not merely the latest craze. We were an age, a golden age. It's all here on this stamp. There's the Lasser, yes? Trushi's mother is missing, I hear. What happened to her? I don't know. Part of his memory is still locked up. There is one thing you are failing to address. What's that? As you say, our troop was a world unto itself. If our leader, Magnifi, wasn't so inclined, he could hide anything he wished with ease. But Mr. Wright, then he would have hid a crime, making him an accomplice. Not a great foundation for blackmail. Planet's got a point. If one of the troop members died in an accident and Magnifi covered it up, his innocence would come into question. Found the right address, Mr. Wright. So close, there has to be something. About how Thalas's death could affect Zack and Valent's relationship with Magnifi. I see in your eyes you still have something to say. How can you possibly prove more than you already have? I'll prove why Thalas's accident tied your hands completely. With a person? It's going to take a little knowledge of the players to crack this one. The accidental death of Zack's wife tied both your hands. Hey, Swordmaster, welcome. This information proves why Magnifi held so much power over you. Somebody had so much power. Is it Trilogy? It's either going to be Trilogy, Apollo, or Thalassa herself. It doesn't say she's dead, just that her whereabouts are unknown. And obviously, we know she's not dead. I guess I could go with Trilogy for the moment.
Take that!
Ha ha ha! Were you by chance any trying to threaten me? No, of course not. You'll never make a good blackmail artist, never! Not a career choice I'd be considering, actually. Give up your dreams and not work an honest job, that's my advice. Troop was a tight-knit unit, it's all about the people involved. Their personalities, their histories. Who was Thalassa really? I see in your eyes you still have something to say. How could you possibly prove more than you already have? Or prove why Thalassa was accidentally tied with the person? It wasn't a question of who shot Thalassa. Thalassa was herself was the problem. What do you mean? She was that Grammarly's wife, Trucy's mother, and Magnifi Grammarly's only daughter. There was a terrible accident, and the two of you killed your mentor's only daughter. If that wasn't the key to Magnifi's power over you, I don't know what was. It was an accident! Half? Okay. There was no proof, none at all. But Thalassa went missing. And your mentor blackmailed both of his disciples. It doesn't take a genius to put one and one together. Ours was a complex family. I mean, true Grammarly? The Master Magnifi Grammarly, his only daughter, and his two disciples. That does sound like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Do not be tempted to faulty flights of fancy. Yes, there was an accident, but that is all it was, an accident. Zack and Valent's tour de force. The guns blaze, the bullets fly, straight toward the beautiful body on stage. All right, Swordmaster, thanks for joining. And then crash, zing, pow, into everything but her. Now that is magic. It happened one day when we were practicing, same trick with a new twist. And tragedy. Even while he's being serious, he speaks like a showman. But as for whose bullets stole Thalassa's life, we shall never know the answer. Thalassa disappeared from our lives and Zack was bereft of his wife. Trucy lost her mother, and Magnifi his daughter. And that led to blackmail, I take it. It is all part and parcel of the darkness that comes from the curtain falls. Why did Magnifi Grammarly try to cover up the accident? It was his own daughter who died. All I can say is, it was a critical time for Troop Grammarly. A passing of the torch from Magnifi to Zack and Valent. We all sacrificed so that it might be a success. Thalassa's death was the greatest sacrifice of all, yet even when her life was extinguished, her presence was not. What do you mean? In time, we, myself and Zack, found we could no longer oppose Magnifi's wishes. Magnifi forced us to perform his art for his benefit. I see. I guess I can understand. I mean, he did lose his only daughter. But do you not find cowardice in his actions? Huh? To decide to hide the truth of your own daughter's death is one thing. But then to hang that death as a guillotine above our heads? Things were dark behind the scenes in Troop Grammarly, that's for sure. Does Trucy know? She was not told, naturally. Who would want to know that their father might have taken their mother's life? True. I had not thought of an accident for a very long time. I'm sorry to dredge up old memories, but this has helped a lot. Not to find Magnifi's slayer, I should think. True. After that accident, there was one who came sniffing quite persistently. A reporter? He called himself a newsman at the time. Often I spied him lurking about the dressing room during his research. Would you happen to remember his name? What was his name? Sorry, I have forgotten. But in that course of his interviewing, he became quite close to my partner, Zach. I liked him not. I see. His name, I do not recall, but his scent, the cloying aroma of mint. Yes, whenever he smiled, which was far too often. I see. Thanks for your help. It does no good to interfere with the past, Mr. Wright. You will not uncover answers, only wounds. I'm sorry. I see. I had begun to notice a dark curtain over Troop Grammary. And I began to realize what I had to do. I had to protect Trucy from that darkness. The reporter he mentioned, the newsman I've never learned who that was at the time. Though I've got a pretty good idea who it is now. That smile, and the sickly sweet smell of smint. Smint? There's so many S's. Sickly sweet smell of smint. The last floss-thin thread connecting Zach Gramley to this world. Sooner or later, I'd have to track him down. Woo! Is everything learned in the past? Oh! Oh! 2 places! Drew Studio first. Pleasant day. Drew Studio.
Well, what do we have here?
Remember me?
Of course I remember you. Journalist, me sexy, attorney, and bar, end quote.
Can I ask what you're doing here? Mr. Mission was poisoned and his daughter's...
Oh, yes, I know. Oh, I know. Yes. It caused me no end of grief, to be honest. Journalist wishes he'd tracked down case just a little quicker, end quote.
Were you on the trail of this case the whole time?
Zach Gramley was a good friend.
Zach said something to the effect back at the Borscht Bowl Club.
What a character. What a man. But a lot. No, extremely rough around the edges.
Do you think I could ask you a few questions?
Oh, you serious? I mean, I'm usually the interviewer, not the interviewee. Journalists ask questions, not other way around. End quote. Fine, shoot, I don't care. People have been asking all sorts of things lately.
Questions, things, you know. This is where Mr. Mission fell. Never thought our 7-year reunion would be quite like this.
Wait, you knew Mr. Mission?
I met him once in court. It was a brief meeting, but one I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Well, that's the story right there, isn't it? That is. I smell a scoop. Ex-attorney now down in his luck. Pianist plays beyond Sonata of Sorrow. End quote.
I'm all ears.
Let's have it. Don't hold anything back.
Could you at least get rid of the down on his luck part? Yeah, you see, he's painted all the walls, and they're all nice now. The door outside. Vera might have come walking in at any moment if she wasn't in intensive care. Okay, so this is just right after she was poisoned. Will she ever come through that door again, I wonder? So this really is the present. Because the first one with talking with Zach is in the past of the present. The present's past. This is in the present's present. Those 3 paintings.
All Drew's works, of course. Which is to say Vera's works, really. Or to be more precise, Vera's forgeries or someone else's works. Of course, if you demand utter and total precision. Actually, there's nothing more.
I was about to say... Look at all the jars of paints and pigments. Why are there so many jars of the same color?
My guess is they're sorted by age.
Age?
When you mark in a forgery, or make it a forgery, it's important to match the age of the original, see? Paint compositions changed a lot over the years.
Oh, right. Did you learn in that journalism school?
Journalist relies on writing skill and imagination, end quote.
As long as you don't do any news stories about about imagination.
Either that or they just bought a lot of the same color by mistake.
I found myself not caring anymore. That's an odd assortment of equipment to find in a painter studio. Of course, it makes more sense when you know they're making forgeries. I guess that's why they never took visitors here. Wouldn't really want people seeing all this.
Yes, in fact, it was the first human being ever to set foot inside a food studio. Other than Mr. Mission, of course. Oh, and Vera too. And this assuming that I'm human, of course.
I'm beginning to have my doubts. Let's take a closer look at the desk.
Objection!
I just have to do that when I see this pose. Can't believe it's been 7 years. I have to stop torturing myself with these things. I know, I'll just pretend I'm saying something else. The post office? Why, it's over right over there. Good day, sir. Picture of a young Mr. Misham and a very young Miss Vera. They're smiling. They look happy. Of course, now Mr. Misham's passed away. And Vera's on death's doorstep in the hospital. Guess I'll just do what I can and hope it's enough. Because I'm off by 1 pixel. This frame looks even smaller sitting next to that photo. Just the right size for a commemorative stamp indeed. Commemorative stamp put there by a daughter that killed her father. Sometimes life just sucks. These envelopes from the client who requested that forgery. Just think, if that had gotten lost in the mail, I'd still be wearing my attorney's badge. A drafting table, probably for making detailed designs for forgeries.
You know what I think about that? I'll tell you. Printing should be done by freehand. No rules, no restrictions. You really have to think a line drawn by a ruler is going to move anyone? I smell a letter to the editor. Would you write an article with a ruler? End quote. Unless you wanted a ruler to write the address on your blackmail letters straight. That's what I think. You can quote me on it, too.
You could drop this guy on a deserted island and he wouldn't get bored. GameCube. Okay, I think that's everything. Alright, let's talk. It was tragic what happened to Drew Misham and his daughter.
Forgery is a serious crime and they paid the price. You know what really did them, though, don't you?
Yes, the forged diary page.
The night I interviewed him, I found out something about Mr. Misham I hadn't known.
What's that?
You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Every day for 7 years. Balls have ears. Potatoes have eyes, end quote.
Being watched? You mean he felt guilty?
No, I'm talking about feelings here.
You know,
I felt watched too. The whole time I've been in this case, no less. Journalist gets tingling sensation on back of neck, freaks out, end quote.
because you felt guilty?
Why would I feel guilty?
Felt like you were being watched, huh? Wonder what it all means. Is there a camera here? Drew Misham felt like he was being watched, and you along with him. You sure it wasn't just nerves?
Nerves? No, it's nothing so mundane. I stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago. But I felt it too. Journalist Shuri is being watched, end quote. But don't you wonder why Zach Grammy got rubbed out after 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me? He completely vanishes from that courtroom. Then, for 7 years, he talks to no one, not a soul. Then, just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made.
And then he dies.
Starting to put the pieces together, are we?
Hey, NRK2. Welcome. And you were being watched this whole time.
Maybe not just me. Maybe you are too.
Me?
I met Zach through the case, actually.
You mean the shooting of Magnifique Grammy?
No, before that. It's not widely known.
You mean the accident? During the quick draw shooting practice?
My. You're well informed. You should have seen him back then. I dug up quite the scoop. I wanted it all. Money, fame, women, a little puppy. All for me. I was younger then, and my days and nights smelled of fresher mint than they do now.
That Grammy did mention one particular nosy reporter.
In fact, I was on close speaking terms with Magnific Grammy all the time. Or at the time. I knew his daughter too, of course. The Lasser, was it?
Really?
Then the Lasser disappeared, quite suddenly at that. And Magnific wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of a scoop, goes on feeding frenzy. End quote. I set up a one-on-one interview with the Lasser's husband, see?
Zach Gramry.
Something strange was on the other air over the top of... over at Droop Gramry in those days. The whole screwy mentor-controlling disciplines seemed... disciples, the scene started by then, I'm guessing. The Lasser, she was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me, off the record.
Sorry, I don't know.
Anyway, I kept praying, or prying, and eventually became friends with Zach. Sure, he pumped me once or twice, or 5 times, but over time he came to see me as a confidant. I've been waiting this whole time, 7 years, eh? He's been waiting. Waiting? For his big comeback, of course. A big revival of the Magnific Miracle. Of course it was all a dream.
Because of this? The performance rights?
In the absence of any official document, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zack and Valen?
So Valen waited until Zack died, legally at least.
The time it finally comes and Valen's like a kid on Christmas morning.
He's getting ready for a show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know.
If that document sees the legal light of day, it's going to put a bit of a damper on the big show. He's a sorry one, that Valen Gramry. Lost out of his partner at work, and in love too.
Love?
It's the same old story, really. 2 disciples and their mentor's only daughter. Was 3 sides and all of them pointy. A love triangle.
That is pretty classic.
When you're performing troupe, that's your world. It's like a family. One with an entire high school's worth of drama, intrigue, and backstabbing.
I hope this guy disappears soon, because his voice is really annoying to do. Like, it's making me feel sick. And in the middle of all this, the Lasser has Trucy. And she dies. Well, then she dies. I need to find out more about this Thalassa. Do you have anything for me about this? Mr. Brushel, could you take a look at this dead body?
I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear.
So you want me to write an article?
All about on that, right? What's the angle?
Actually, no, that's okay. I don't need an article. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on this.
I hear you. I hear you. You want me to sniff around for a scoop? Well, you've come to the right nose, my friend. It's odorless.
Thanks. Okay, that was less than informative. Nothing new. Mr. Brushel, do you know this person?
Do I know that person? Of course. I was friends with Zack after all. He hit me a few times. 5 times, actually. But still, I'd never forget his wife.
Thalassa Gramry. Magnific Gramry's only daughter. Do you think you could tell me more about her?
Well, why the heck not?
Tell me everything.
So, Thalassa married Zack and had Trucy, see? It's her second marriage, actually.
You mean she was divorced? I hadn't heard this one before.
Not quite. Her late husband was a performer, too. Apparently he died doing some gig. Tragic, really. They had only been married 1 year.
I didn't know.
Ah, but she was a beauty. I still carry a photo of her around, you know.
That's a bit weird.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
I've known Trucy since she was a little thing, too. She got the better deal, really. She's got you for family, after all.
What do you mean?
Just reminiscing, you know? Thalassa has another child besides Trucy. End quote.
What? But Trucy said she was an only child.
Ah, yes, this one she had her previous husband.
Her previous husband? Her first husband who died during a performance? Imagine if it was like... if it was like, oh, Actually, Gavin and Apollo are related. They have the same father. It's probably not true, but... What wasn't retconned?
Yep, they had himself a kid. Another orphan now. That's another one who slipped through the cracks. No idea where they are now.
Well, had another child? Do you think I could borrow that photo?
Sure, I can be generous on occasion, you know.
Yay. Won't need this locket anymore. No, keep it. Better return it to Trucy before I forget.
People and events still get tangled together and get bigger and bigger. Don't you think?
I was too busy worrying about bigger to listen to what you were saying.
Sometimes you just gotta accept that you won't be able to untangle it all, I think.
Maybe so, but still. I have to do what I can. And I have to tell what I find to those who come next.
Next, you say?
I'm not the one who will close a curtain on this little play. Apparently, that's not my role anymore. At least until the sequel.
Magnifi. I was just wondering about Magnifi would think of all this.
What do you mean?
Haven't you seen it in the Trucy? She's got his power.
You mean how I can't lie to Trucy?
It was the same with Magnifi. With his daughter, Alassa.
It's a strange thing. You think it's some Gremry's gene?
Magnifi told me once back when Zack married Thalassa. He said Zack had good eyes. But not good like Gramry's eyes. Not that good.
I wonder if Zack ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the Gramry secret was?
Maybe nobody, now that Zack's gone.
Zack Gramry. The plot had finally begun to reveal itself. It sprouted from a warp in the Gramry fabric and grew, swallowing everything, wrapping itself around the Gramry's power.
Older Trucy!
The power which had passed from Magnific Grammy to Thalassa to the next generation. I would once again need to meet the one who bridged it all together. Now we're getting into, like, time messing up shit. Like, we now have information from the future that we're going to give to our past selves. Let's try and go to the Sunshine Coliseum first. I mean, I guess I could go there. Alright, fine. I'll do this one. Reveal thy secrets to me, you fool. I don't need to read it all, just get to the point again. I don't want to know why you talk about her.
Take that!
Blah, blah, blah. You have guns. You shot her because you're evil. Okay, now, this is where it doesn't start to make sense, because this is information from the future that we had gotten after he had been killed. So how would we know about this?
Take that!
Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second. How did you know this? Her first husband, he died a year after they were wed, yes? He was a performer. They met when he joined as a Grammys as a guest on our show. After Thalassa wed him, she left the troupe for a while. And you say she had a child then? I had a photograph of her here. Oh, bugger. I didn't mean to do that. I couldn't help notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stand out. They're a Granbury family heirloom. This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in the picture. What? So, that's why. Why what, Mr. Zack? I took this photograph of Thalassa before she left. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. I bet I know where that other one went. She gave it to this boy, her son. But why? Well, I destroyed both of them. Like, why would she just abandon him after their father's death? Be like, here you go. Here's this thing for you. This strange power, I myself do not know where it come from. Yet the fact is that it passed down the Gramley line. It runs in their veins. What is it? I asked her, Thalassa, once. This is what she told me. Her power responds to tension in others. Tension? If she were to face a person and they became tense even slightly, then she would know no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. So she could see it. Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all. She wouldn't realize that she's subconsciously detecting this tension without the use of a particular object, or in her case, objects. Objects? Wait, was there something she wore? Yes, her bracelets. I admit the first time I saw one of those, I felt there was more to it than just fashion. What kind of power could a bracelet have? I have made a decision. I will tell you all I know. Consider it a gift. Great. Well, I hardly need you to tell me at this point, but those two are brother and sister, yes. And the brother, too, has this power of theirs. So true she has an older brother. What will come of that? Nothing! Which is the most aggravating at all. Mr. Wright, tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing. I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I am in your debt, once again. No kidding. What I want to know is how all of this got to be so messed up. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in response to body warmth. Oh, it's the shape memory alloy keys. We're gonna stop Metal Gear. So they're temperature sensitive or something? Yes. This is how they can shrink to the exact size of the wearer's wrist. And this has something to do with the power? What have I told you? The Gramry power reacts to tension in others. When a Gramry senses tension, they too become tense. And this tension translates into minute contractions in the muscles. So minute they cannot sense it on their own. Their muscles? Oh, so that's what the bracelet's for. With the bracelet on, one can sense these contractions, because the bracelet is always a perfect fit. So when the person they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on the wrist. Precisely. But that alone doesn't really count as a mind reading. I believe I understand how the process works from there. It's a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight? I guess that sounds simple enough. Have you ever heard of a kinetic vision? Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it has stopped if they focus. Oh, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relates to the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The faintest twitch of the face, and the meaning that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of the crowd before one may distract it. So basically what you're saying is, the Grammys can see really well? For them, seeing is more than believing. It is knowing. Their power relies on eyesight combined with exceptional focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such levels for focus for any length of time. But what if someone could tell you they went to focus? Or something. Precisely. But wait, she doesn't have any bracelets. We're talking about the poker, yes? The timing of when to focus is so elementary she probably does it without thinking. I doubt Tracy herself has realized this. That is all I know of things Gramry. Thank you, Mr. Zack. If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. I'll keep that in mind. Which is why he mentions it during the case. The first case, I mean. Well, shall we play a game? I have said so much. Let me say one thing. I will tell you of that night. That night? The night my mentor, Magnifi Gramry, passed from this world to the next. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. This was Magnifi's test. Test? In his last years, Magnifi Gramry worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night I could not shoot him. So I shot the clown's forehead instead. This, it seems, was the correct answer.
Take this. I give my art to you, Zack.
What?
It is thanks for playing along with my show. You shot well tonight, Zack. Though I would not have minded dying by your hands.
How could I shoot you? You're my mentor.
Bah, I thought you might say that.
If I went home without shooting anything, what would you have done then?
Then, of course, I would have given Valet his chance.
And if I had shot you in the forehead instead?
Well, I'd be dead, stupid. I wouldn't have to do anything. Then it would have been over. If you or Valet were to shoot me in the head, then I to the darkness would go, and my art with me. A fitting end, don't you think? Yet this ending, too, gives no cause for regret. I thank you, Zack. And I am sorry. I have done much that was wrong in my day.
Seems to me that Magnifi wanted you to be his successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valent's. Perhaps, but it is not something we will ever know for sure. Now, I wonder, what is Valent up to these days? Waiting for you to die. If 7 years pass like this, the performance rights go to him. Ah. And now here I am, and his dream has ended. It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing, you know. What? You don't mean to tell me they put the blame for our mentor's death on him? The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valent had helped you pull it off. But that's madness. Well, it seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Huh? Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated? Even though I'm dead. You will be dead now.
And that was when Gavin was like, oh, I'm going to shoot him for some reason. Or no, I'm going to hit him with a bottle.
That night, Zack Gramry was killed. He died as Shoddy Smith, mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind before he parted. This. A gun! To whom it may concern, 7 years past, I, Zack Gramry, murdered my mentor, Magnifi Gramry. I apologize for the trouble caused by my sudden departure for court and hereby confess to my crimes. Zack Gramry. Really? His confession, to use as I saw fit. Of course, he'd killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Valent Gramry. Okay. I get the feeling this is the false flag. That's the bad flag. Alright, Sunshine Coliseum to go. Raphatron. Okay, one second. That one I have to... Alright, give me a second. I need to... Okay, because Raphatron, that is too much. That is a spoiler. Give me a second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because Restream doesn't show that it was taken back, so I can't see it until I go back to it. But, yeah. Thanks for that. Right. Let me catch back up with the things. Present day Sunshine Coliseum.
Well, this is a blast from the distant past. Long time no see, Mr. Valen. 7 years has it been? Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
Well, seeing as you went to see Trucy, you're gonna have to. Actually, I came because there's something I wanted to ask you.
I've spoken to the press. I have nothing more to say.
I've spoken to a lot of people myself, and I've come to conclusions. But then I realized I needed to hear it from you.
Is that Larry? Larry!
The man in the costume is handing out balloons to the kids. It's nice to know kids still like balloons somehow.
They're a favorite of mine, balloon sellers, that is. I would have them join me on the big stage. They could hand out balloons to the children in the audience.
Wouldn't all those balloons get in the way of seeing your show?
Bravo! The possibilities had not even occurred to me.
Nick's right. Entertainment consultant. What? That sure is a big sign.
Yes, it is a favorite of mine. Impressive, isn't it? I considered using it for one of my house when the show's over.
Wow, your house is that big?
Actually, as fate would have it, I currently live in a one-room apartment. But following the wild success of my show, I intend to build a luxurious mansion. I was torn over just how big it would make, or to make it, until that sign whispered the answer to me.
That's really beautiful. The Sunshine Coliseum, was it? I'm not sure it actually qualifies as a coliseum, but it's great for forum.
Yes, it was a favorite of mine. I have always been fond of sunshine. Speaking of which, have you heard what happened to the High Elves? Here recently?
Oh yeah, something about something going on during some concert.
Exactamundo! I see no reason to hide the fact that I too was involved in that case.
Well, that's something. Did you help solve it?
Ha! What do you take me for? No, I merely served to deepen the mystery.
That's obstruction of justice?
I'm a magician. It's my sworn duty to create mystery whenever possible.
Ugh. I don't think I've ever seen a hot air balloon so close.
It's a favorite of mine. I've often thought of how to use it in one of my shows. Perhaps for the climate of Valet Quick, Draw, Shoot 'em Returns. Stand on stage, I shoot, and the hot air balloon is pierced. It explodes. What do you think? Thrilling, yes?
A little, I guess. But no one inside the Coliseum would be able to see it.
Bravo! It took me 4 days of planning to realize that.
Ugh.
Red Lorry.
Alright, well, let's talk.
I have walked a difficult road these past 7 years.
Because you couldn't perform Magnifi's repertoire.
Do not be deceived. Valent skill is the real deal. I do not require my mentor's hand-me-downs. No, it was my partner who slowed me on my way.
Zach Gramry.
His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end. Or so I thought.
Zach Gramry murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishment for his crime. You said something to that effect 7 years ago, didn't you?
I remembered it as if it were only yesterday. Yet that was not the way of it in the end. For a while he vanished, the suspicions upon my own person never did. His partner Zach vanished to protect him. That's what those thieving magpies of a press said.
I had no idea.
Yet the very same press comes to me now, feigning ignorance or interest. They cover the greatest magic shows in history as if it were a vaudevillian distraction. And here must I stand smiling at them all. What am I if not a player in some fiendish farce?
I suggest it's because you've never made it clear what happened. And Niffy's death is still a mystery to this day. Which is why I came to get the answers from you. Only a twofer? I knew I'd be seeing these sooner or later.
The audience has no business stepping on the stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight.
Sounds an awful lot like something I've heard 7 years ago. Time to break him. Considering it's only 2, he might just want to tell me, but he doesn't know if he can do it. What's that? Oh, bless me. Sorry about that. I thought I had more time to sneeze. Oh, I sneezed so hard it hurt my throat. Ugh. Sorry for your ears, guys. That was an accident. Ask what you will, you'll get nothing from me. I'm as much part of this affair as you are now. I have to know what happened. For 7 long years I have endured. Now, finally, the curtain lifts on my new golden age. All the miracles of my troop within our grasp. I flipped those around for some reason. Sorry to do this, Valen, but right now I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a bomb. That should take things up. Valen, I wouldn't be so sure about those miracles. Not as long as I have this.
Take that!
And what might that be? I see it bears the Gramry seal. I should have brought this to your attention sooner, but I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast. What is this? A document showing the true recipient of the performance rights to Magnifi's miracles. What? Zach Gramry? He wrote this? What? He passed everything to his daughter? Trucy Enigma. Actually, she's officially my daughter these days. Yeah! Preposterous! Zach is gone, vanished into the void. This is the genuine article. Zach was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and the notary can testify to this. Ugh. Whoa! Why? Why does fate toy with me so? Why must my life be lived in the thrall to the dead? You're not the only one with the problem. But he shot Magnifi! Yes, it was Zach! It was! And then he left, and my career as a magician fell into the darkness. Do you think there might be some way out of it? Say, if you could prove Zach Gramry shot Magnifi? Was that why you testified? Yes! My way out! It should have been my way out! Well, it might not be too late, Mr. Ballard. All you need is a way to prove your case. Who really killed Magnifi Gramry?
Take that!
I believe I have the answer to your prayers right here. Zach Gramry wrote one more thing before passing on. This! But this is a confession! In which he admits to the killing of Magnifi Gramry. See? All according to your plan. I am a magician by trade. Deception is my life's work. I fool the audience, give them a fleeting dream. Yet it seems the tables have turned. Now I am the audience, believing in the deceptions I have wrought upon myself. Zach wrote this right in front of me, after I explained your situation to him. Alakazam! Why do you have to always do that? Unlock successful. You do know that this confession is nothing but lies? Yes, it's my opinion that Zach Gramry killed no one. Then you must be thinking the truth is a simple matter of elimination. 2 received instructions to kill, but if one is innocent, then the one who remains is guilty. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. So he vanished to protect me, his partner. A stirring tale, 'tis true. Did you shoot Magnifi Gramry in the forehead? If I had and I told you, what would you do? Run to the police, perchance? Do as you will. There is nothing left for me now. It is true. After all, I have little talent. I needed my mentor Magnifi's repertoire. It was as if a little demon grabbed hold of me. I knew it. So Valiant Gramry did kill the great Magnifi. It does feel a touch tone deaf. So sorry, Mr. Wright, but it was not I who shot my mentor. What? But if it wasn't you, then who was it? There was another disciple, was there? Another disciple such as... I don't know, knack and talent Gramry, maybe? Your wild fancies couldn't be further from the truth. Only Zack and Valent received these threatening letters. But there was another. One more person could have fired that pistol that night. It was the reporter. I don't suppose you figured it out by now. It wasn't Zack or Valent who shot Magnifi. It was the lasser. And it had to be the only other person at the scene, which means... Wait. You don't mean... Yes, the great Magnifi Gramry himself. So Magnifi Gramry committed suicide? You find it hard to believe? To be honest, I hadn't even imagined it as a possibility. When I arrived that night, the old man was still alive. He appeared to be asleep. I could not shoot him, but when I turned and made to leave the room, the old man called out to me, and then sat in the same position as the other guy. So you spoke with Magnifi Gramry? Yes, and this is why I knew what he had done. Magnifi transferred the rights to his repertoire to my partner, Zack Gramry, not me. The disciple thing was semi-retconned. Oh. Okay. I see. Then I guess I owe you an apology. I always thought you were the one who did it. You owe me no apology. Huh? My crime was, in a way, more serious than that of murder. What? Your crime? Is Valent Gramry confessing something to me? What could he be more serious than murder? Framing someone else for it? You see, I knew that 2 letters had been sent. There are no secrets between partners. It was easy to find out. That was when I understood Magnifi's plan. He wanted to die by one of your hands. That is Phoenix saying this. He wanted to die by one of your hands. Little did I expect it had anything to do with the rights to his repertoire. That was when I heard it. The little demon whispering inside my heart. The demon? Let me confess, I had intended to shoot Magnifi. And I planned on framing my partner for the crime. What? That night I prepared something more going to Magnifi's hospital room. Which was... IV fluid, of course. I'd seen it in an earlier visit. If Zack did not shoot, I would do the deed. Then I would use the IV liquid to place the murderer in his hands. That was my plan. But you didn't shoot him. Phoenix unconsciously doing impressions, yeah. I could not. The demon in my heart fled when the moment came, but the Magnifi called me back. I am sorry, Valent. I'm giving my magic to Zack, not you. Still like the draw he has. Please help him if you can. I left the room. And then I stopped. The shock of what I had just been told consumed me. That is when I heard that fateful gunshot. Magnifi Gramry killing himself. Then the demon awoke anew within me. That killed him. He was the one. Frame him and the magic will be yours. I altered the scene of the suicide. I took the pistol from his hand, wiped off the prints, and then used the syringe to add the IV liquid I brought. So in the end, things happened pretty much as planned. Magnifi died and you framed Zack for his murder. As planned indeed. Of course, the outcome was somewhat different than I anticipated. Well, what do you think? Do you believe my story? Can it believe truly? That was 7 years ago. I don't know what to believe, but yes. I'm glad I heard it from you, Mr. Valent. Thank you. It is I who should be thanking you, Mr. Wright. Only when I had lost everything could I make my decision. So yeah, I was right on him, like, falsifying evidence to put his own friend in jail. So, you know, illegal, he should go to prison. No question about that. He shouldn't just go, oh yeah, I'm going to go with my life now, bye. And everyone should just go, oh yeah, bye. Only when I had lost everything could I make my decision. You're going to turn yourself in? My partner may have vanished, but not so my guilt. And as my guilt stays, all else begins to leave. My friends, my performance rights, my magic. I've heard enough of vanishing acts. I understand. I thought my life was ruled by a dead man. But I find I was wrong. For Zach Gramry was alive. Well, not anymore. And now it occurs to me. What if he was not the only one who survived? What do you mean? You see, now that I think about it, I realize that we never saw proof of her demise. We never saw her body. Her? The mind races and the mouth flaps on. My apologies, forget this matter. I can only hope that the day will come when I again meet my partner, Zach Gramry. Then I shall apologize for my terrible mistake. I'm glad we had this chance to talk. Thank you. I think he's turning himself in, so that's nice. That's good. Zach Gramry, Shady Smith, whatever name you prefer, he's no longer with us. The truth revealed in that trial was only a sliver. And the impenetrable darkness that remained has taken another life. I knew what I'd have to do to push back the darkness for good. And it would involve paying that man a visit. Santa Claus? Only one thing left to do. Let's go, Gavin. How are you involved in all this? Sorry, sir. Prisoner Christoph Gavin is currently occupied. I see. Do you know when he'll be finished? Well... Could you go find out? Certainly, sir. Please wait here for a moment. My apologies to the guard, but there's something I need to see. It's the letter. There it is. The yellow envelope. And the sender is Drew Misham. I was right.
When I arrived in the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he was quickly sealed the envelope. It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. If this is the last letter that Drew Misham wrote, why am I still doing this voice?
If this is the last letter that Drew Misham wrote, then there's something I need to do. The last thing I need to do, in fact. Here it goes. See if this atropine spray finds anything. There we go. So this was Drew Misham's messenger of death. It was this stamp, all right, no mistaking it. And his last letter was sent to Christoph Gavin. The interview request came like you said it would, and they were looking into the case. I swear on my life I won't tell them about you, so please release the spell you put on my daughter. I'll write her later with a report. Drew Misham. Gotcha. Finally, decisive evidence. What's this? A burglar in jail? Gavin, I didn't know you moonlighted in larceny, right? Gavin, there's something I have to ask you. Can I steal your stuff? The answer is no. My apologies, but there's not much I care to discuss. Vera Misham hasn't received her verdict yet. You follow me, Gavin? There are no known survivors of atropine poisoning, but it never hurts to hope. Okay, I'll be leaving now then. Right, wait. Yeah, Gavin? Would you mind leaving that letter? It's private. Oh, sorry, forgot I had it. Many thanks. Whee! It goes all warped. It was in his hat the whole time. A camera. We've now seen all the clues in this case. Clues I gathered over 7 long years. Now it's time. Every story has an ending. Come to the final chapter, the final trial. Find the truth. You're the only ones who can. Okay. To be continued. Woo! Got the info. You should end here. Really? Is the last part long? How long have we been going for anyway? Let me check. An hour and 20 minutes. We still got 30, 40, 50, 60. We still have got 40 minutes. You sure you want me to end it there? I mean, I usually go for 2 hours regardless, but... Like, personally, I would go on for a bit longer. The last is a few hours. Oh. Hmm. Here's a question then. Would we be able to finish at least one part of it? Like, is there multiple parts or is it one long thing that you have to go through? There's no, like, to be continued or save points kind of deal. Because if it's going to take 2 streams, then yeah, I'm willing to just pause it there, and then we continue it next time, because then we can have 2 streams of that for Tuesday and Thursday. I think it's 2 long parts. Okay. In that case, that might be a good idea then. It's just so weird, because this would be such a short stream in that case. It's only been an hour and 20 minutes. But if that is true... Yeah, okay. I guess we can stop there. Man, I want to keep playing, but if at the same time, if it's like going to be 2 long parts, then I'm willing to wait. It's also a good thing because my throat, after doing Brussels voice for so long, it was actually starting to hurt my throat. So I'm willing to stop there because then it will let my throat rest. Return to games menu. All right, so we shall pick this up next time, next week, Tuesday. We will be back tomorrow with Halo. So, whoa. And then hopefully finish it that day too. So, yeah. We should stop there. We'll pick this up next week, Tuesday. So, tune in for that. Tomorrow, we're back with Halo. So, tune in for that if you want to watch that. As usual, thank you all for joining me today. I hope everyone enjoyed. Regardless, as usual, like, follow, subscribe, do the bell notifications so you know when I next stream. If you want to help support me directly, there's links to Patreon and tips. And if you do become a patron, you get your name added to the patron list, which I give you a shout out at the end of every stream here, where like I do with Hiroru Kuni, the Swordmaster 37, and I thank them for the continued support and greatly appreciate them. And I let them do a voice for Gavin, make him sound like a douche. But anyway, thanks for joining in today. Hope everyone had a nice day. I'll see you tomorrow. And until next time, y'all take care of yourselves. Bye, Raphatron. Bye, anyone still here. Bye-bye.